Let's talk about the Freedom Convoy then. Have you heard about so we already knew that Justin Trudeau, a man who considers himself to be a sort of paragon of Western democracy and freedom, he can't take criticism and he doesn't seem to accept the concept of peaceful demonstration. So the Freedom Convoy has descended on the capital over there, and the first thing he tried to do was freeze all their bank accounts, and even freeze the bank accounts of people who donated to the Freedom Convoy. He didn't even have to be on it for him to want to block your money. It's currently the government there is currently issuing warnings to anyone involved in these anti-mandate protests, saying that in addition to freezing their bank accounts and towing their trucks, they can confiscate their pets as well. There are plans involved to take some of the leaders of these convoys and to put them in jail, and if there's a Canadian law, if after 8 days no home can be found for these pets, they will be put down. So his latest threat, Stephen, is to kill the dogs of the protesters. What is going on with this man?
Well, there's a certain madness that has attributed himself now to Trudeau. We talk about the madness of King George and the madness of leaders when they've had too much power for too long. It is very clear to everybody now, those in Parliament, those of the people of Canada, and those outside the world, that he has completely lost it over this, the protests, as they call them, but I call them the freedom fighters of the truckers, who decided to protest about having an injection placed into their arm forcibly, or they would lose their jobs. And that's what it's about. It's about free democracy. It's about to express your own opinions and views to your political leaders, and they all drove to Ottawa to do so. But what you have seen over the last few days, last night, he arrested Chris Barber, the so-called protagonist and organizer of the truckers' convoy. That was very clearly done, visibly, with the police. 4 days ago, he put in SWAT teams and the army, obviously trying to mirror Macron's approach to dealing with people who are freedom protesters, and he put them on the bridges between America and Canada, which have had other protests. He's then initiated, for the first time since the Second World War, actually something done by his father when his father was Prime Minister, a wartime legislation, as though they're in a state of war. And then 2 days ago, he insulted a Jewish Conservative MP, Melissa Lantsman, when he said she stood with people with swastikas. This man has completely lost it, doesn't know how to govern anymore, and can only govern by insults, brutality, and force.
And you're right. I think he's fallen victim to the syndrome. Both him, Jacinda Ardern, arguably Macron as well. They've had this ultimate power for the past 2 years due to the necessities, they would claim, of the COVID crisis. And it seems that they just don't want to let it go.